Hey YouTube, you're probably mad at me. Hold on, chill out. For those feminists that clicked on this link and you're mad at me, just hold on a second. I've got a good point. I used to be a feminist too, so let's just slow down a little bit. Anyway, let's get into it. Welcome to Rachel Repeat. I'm Rachel, and get excited because today we're talking about feminism and why it is still racist. So first, let me give you my background and why I've come across this perspective. So in the beginning, I actually did become a feminist because there's a lot of good points, very important things that feminism is trying to change in our cultures. Gender equality, or even a lack of gender definition, that we have the freedom to define ourselves as we wish, and that the way our body looks doesn't define what we're able to do or how we're treated. Basically, I'm all for anti-oppression, which is what feminism is about. It's what everyone says it's about anyway. When I was in college, I was all about everything. I called myself a feminist because I thought the label fit. I was happy to carry a label that made me visible to people who wanted to know who an ally was to them. When I was in college, I was first trained by the government to be a certified sexual assault response advocate. So I was all about sex positivity and how to change the way we think about the way we treat each other and each other's bodies, and not turning each other into objects for selfish reasons, and being able to see each other as human beings and treat each other that way. Important stuff, I think. So I was all for carrying the word feminist. I'll wear that. Absolutely, why not? I want people to know that I'm somebody that's against oppression. And then I took one of my most beloved classes ever in college, which was women's history in America specifically. And then I found out that the suffragist movement at the beginning, if you remember, there's a lot of issues going on. For instance, at the time that women were trying to get rights to vote, black men were also trying to get rights to vote. And some women worked well with black men, and they were trying to do it together. And then black men got the vote and white women didn't. And the ugly side of a lot of white women came out saying things like why they didn't think black men should have gotten the vote before them, why they felt betrayed. A lot of really ugly perspectives came out. And then there were people like Margaret Sanger, the pioneer of birth control, basically. She created the American Birth Control League, which then became Planned Parenthood. Glad everyone's getting birth control. However, at the time, Margaret Sanger was all for joining the eugenics movement. Ooh, what? She believed that it was important not only to provide birth control, but to sterilize the feeble-minded, in reference to people of color, women of color. Bad day for feminism. And then we have the feminist movement, where the word feminism itself came into play, which was the middle class white women that started feminism. Nothing wrong with that, except they tended to leave women of color out of the equation, not representing them. In fact, I've still had a lot of conversations with women that are not white today, feeling like white women are a little bit threatened. This is still an issue, not just because black women and other women of color still feel like white women feel threatened by their power, but because why are we using a term to label ourselves that we know very well has a history of racism? What validates that this was such an issue is also the term womanism or womanist. These terms are very strong, hard evidence for the fact that black women and other women of color did not feel included in the feminist movement, had to come up with their own word so much because they felt like feminism didn't represent them. When I found this out, I was feeling like, whoa, I'm supposed to be claiming this word so people know I'm anti-oppression for all people, not just women, not just white women, all people. So then I find out that feminism, even the word, does not represent anti-oppression as well as I thought it did. I was horrified at this idea. Now, to be honest, in the first place, I was hesitant to take on a label. I took it because I wanted people to know I was an ally like that. But I've always been hesitant about using labels because I feel like it encourages people to be lazy thinkers. That if you know what word I fall under, you think you know something about me. Nope. In the same way, I already had issues with how many feminists were using the word to express their anger towards men, and not just the men that had hurt them in their own experiences, but all men, labeling the entirety of the gender under the same assumptions. I didn't like that, and it was happening a lot, but I could understand because of some of the really horrific things that had happened to women at the hands of men. So I forgave it. But then to find out that you're making other women feel oppressed, you're making other women feel less than the way you're asking men to not make you feel, sorry, doesn't vibe with me. It has to have integrity or I'm out. And so, I'm out, guys. I'm not gonna call myself a feminist because the word is tainted. You can't. As a sociologist, I firmly believe that culture is about changing. In fact, part of culture is language, and language is always changing. Bootylicious is in the dictionary. If we're making up new words for the silly things, why would we not make up a new word for something that we all feel is incredibly important? Why would we not make up a new word to help incorporate people that we are claiming we care about? As a feminist, if you're going to claim to be anti-oppression for all, you need to look at how much your legacy is representing that cause and that goal and that priority. I believe if you really think you're a feminist, you will consider why you have not chosen a new word to represent you when you know this old word has racist roots. You have to be responsible for change if you want to make it happen. For this reason, it is disgusting that any of us are insecure enough to not involve and include women that look different from us in this movement that's anti-oppression. I need you to take very seriously how ashamed you should be if you have discluded women who look different from you from the movement that is supposed to be about equality. Now, with that said, it's okay if you're realizing you've done some things you shouldn't have done. If you're sorry about it, that's all that's important. If you're sorry that you have made a mistake and overlooked the way that some women have been oppressed by the movement that is supposed to be against oppression, then just acknowledge it and let's make it better. Let's lose the word feminist and all of the ugly racist history that's gotten attached to it, and even the ugly present history that's gotten attached to it. Creating culture, creating change in the world is all about creating new things. You have to tear down the old to build up the new. There's nothing wrong with letting something that was say, thank you, I'm going to retire now, so that something brighter and more beautiful can be built in its place. Let's come up with a new word, or let's be above labels. But please, can we call ourselves something other than a term that is riddled with racist fervor? Please, let's just be kind to each other, guys. Be thoughtful, be intentional. If you're really about creating change in the world, you have to be as intentional as you can. You have to try your hardest. I know some of you are probably super mad still, and it's okay. I'm not telling you you're a bad person. Even if your family members are racist and you're mad that I'm calling out this junk, slow down. It's okay. We can fix stuff. People are really amazing. You have no idea how capable of change we are. If you feel judged right now, no, I'm not judging you. I just want us to do a better job because I know what we're capable of. I believe in humanity so much that I get disappointed in us when we don't do as good of a job as we should be. We're capable of crazy, amazing things. Why are we wasting our time half-assing it? So if you like controversial topics, if you like topics that are somewhat exciting and maybe not a lot of people talk about, or if you have friends that you like to make mad because they're racist, or you think that they're angry feminists and might take them a second before they realize I'm on their team, share this video or subscribe and I'll give you a lot more. We're gonna be getting on a schedule soon, guys, so that I can give you a more regular forecast of when you can tune in and find some more entertainment right here from Rachel Repeat. But in the meantime, keep an eye out for my videos, and I hope that we become good, fast, regular friends. Bye. At the thought I may be